Hey everybody, this is Keisha Lacey with the Random Horror Show, and I got a special treat for y'all, especially during spooky season. And I have coming back to the Random Horror Show the wonderful Chris Sherns and also his partner in crime. And we be chatting up on Instagram. He is such a wonderful person, Dan Michael Jedrejczyk, and we are going to be talking about this up and coming movie called Vic Effects, and I have been watching y'all since y'all put this on social media. What's going on with it? I'm like literally like eyeballs like on what's happening. So like, thank you both of y'all for joining, and let's get right on to it and everything with this interview. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, especially of like what's going on with Vic Effects. So, of course, introduce yourselves if they don't know who y'all are, but reintroduce yourselves or freshly introduce yourselves.
I'm Chris Shern. I am a filmmaker. I'm the writer and director of Vic Effects. And yeah, I like making horror movies and trying to do something a little bit different out there, and hopefully people enjoy what I'm trying to do.
Hi, my name's Dan Michael Jedrejczyk. I'm a film producer. Chris Shern, I like to say it a lot. Chris Shern's a visionary director. I love psychological horror films. I saw his first film entitled Evil Lurks, and I was blown away by it. And I was even more blown away by the fact that it only cost $1,000, which, I'm watching the film. I think it's like I'm thinking maybe $5,000 to $10,000 for the budget. All I can say is Chris really knows how to stretch, the almighty dollar. Like I'm really impressed. I come from a background where I create like shoestring budget films, like for $10, $100. So when I saw what he did with a feature film that could easily be played at a local art house cinema for $1,000 for a budget, I'm like, wow, I really want to work with him. So late last year, I was commenting on his posts about Vic Effects, the upcoming film, and I got to know one of the actors on Evil Lurks, Bill D. Russell. And we hit it off pretty well because we both have like a comedy background. We both are like comedians, I guess you could say. So I hit it off with Bill, and then Bill essentially introduced me to Chris, and here we are, like almost about a year later, and now I'm actually working for Chris at Kissing Castles Productions, and I couldn't be happier with where I'm at and where we're heading at Kissing Castles Productions.
Nice, nice, nice. I love this right here. I love it. I love this. Particularly that the connections that both of y'all got together, and then the love of films, horror films, psychological films. And yes, Dan, I was really impressed with Evil Works, and of course I got the physical copy, and I was like so happy about that. I was like, yay. Now I didn't get a chance to watch it Friday because I had a wedding Saturday. So I'm gonna watch it Friday because I got a wedding this coming Sunday. So I've been telling like my daughter, I was like, you need to watch this. I tell everybody, I'm like, y'all need to watch this film because for Chris to have like a shoestring budget and then have it distribute, not just I caught it on Tubi, but just the way how everything was produced to the actors, you mentioned Bill's name and stuff. He was like wonderful, and he was real creepy in this too.
That's real.
Even Chris, I told you last time, I was like, your character, I just wanted to just whoop his ass. I wanted to whoop the shush man's ass. I wanted to whoop his ass bad. But that's what got me of like loving Evil Works and just like really just wanted to talk to you about it, during our last interview. But this one right here is bigger, and it's called Vic Effects. So give us a synopsis, a little rundown, the shebang bang, and how did y'all come up with the concept of Vic Effects?
Well, Vic Effects is about a Foley artist. If people don't know who a Foley artist is, that's someone who makes sound effects for like TV,
Mm-hmm.
movies, video games, and whatnot. So her full name is Victoria Paulette. The people call her Vic. So she does sound effects for low budget independent horror films,
Mm-hmm.
and a famous yet infamous controversial horror filmmaker named Milo Kemp, which is played by Bill Russell, approaches her about doing a movie for him to do sound effects for a movie that he's working on. Unfortunately, the previous Foley artist that was working on the film with Milo, Bill's character, uh,
Mm-hmm.
he passed away, which is also Vic's idol. His name is Thomas Raven.
Yeah.
And you'll see Thomas Raven through old interviews that Vic watches throughout the movie. But so long story short, Milo hires her to do sound effects for Thomas Raven's last film. So the film is a little interesting, and things are happening within the film, and also funneling into Vic's reality. So things get haywired and crazy. So the more she builds on to the movie, the crazier things get around her and chaos.
Ooh. Now I know that's going to be a banger.
It's gonna be something.
It's see, that's the reason why it's gonna be something. You're not
Yeah,
letting us know everything, but it's gonna be something.
yeah.
I like that. I like that. So Dan, like, how do you feel about working for Kissing Castles and especially on Vic Effects? You know, what is your role like with the whole movie that's what's being produced right now?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm helping Chris with the fundraising.
Mhm.
If anyone is following me or Shern Chris or Kissing Castle Productions on Instagram, you'll know that Chris spent $10,000 out of his own pocket to film Vic Effects, which is unheard of in this industry. A lot of people will have private investors come in and like, oh, here's 5,000, here's $10,000, make a movie. He used everything he had for filming this film, and he always takes care of his actors. He makes sure they're paid. He takes really good care of them. And this really is unheard of in this industry that he he's a family man. He has a wife and he has kids, like, and he's still so focused. He's hyper focused on creating this Vic Effects for so long now, and he's done it without any help financially. So I wanted to come in, I wanted to help raise money for him. He created the Indiegogo campaign himself, and he received help from Ann Myrna from Acrostar Productions,
Mhm.
and I helped a little bit with that. But you know, it's all Chris Shern with
Dan
Vic
helped a lot.
Effects.
He's being modest.
Yeah.
Dan is the producer of Kissing Castle. Without whatever's happening with everything that's happening with that campaign, Dan is the catalyst of all of that. That's what I like about him. He's a hard worker, but he's modest as hell. So he helped me out a lot, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm swagging it up, man. We're a small team. We got Miguel,
Mhm.
Neil, Leo Jr. He's our executive producer, and also he's our digital media person, marketer
Mhm.
now. So we got a small team from where we was at a year ago
Mhm.
to where we at now. Yeah,
Wow.
we got a machine, you know,
That's
on top of the
amazing.
actors helping out and everything else. But
That's amazing. And just, like Dan, with his role of with Kissing Castles, I mean, he is literally that man, damn the man, you know, because he's promoting, he's talking about it, you know, he's sharing, he's doing a lot. And you know, and it's a team effort, you know, with you and you know, just you putting your own money and you know, and that's a huge risk right there. And when I was looking at, you know, what a lot of the stuff that you did, especially with the, you had like bottles and you just finding things to like make, especially for the practical effects and, you know, some of the, you know, props and stuff. And I was like, man, I was like so impressed because you're using your imagination. You just like how old folks say, you take, you know, like nothing and make it into something. And
Yeah.
so that like really impressed me a lot of just you just using your imagination. You're just like picking things up, you're like buying little things and you're making these tools, these weapons and things like that. And I was just like, damn. And this is like on your time. You know, you have a family, you have children. You know, Dan, you're married, you have children also. And, you know, that's a lot. It literally is. And it's just like you have, like, y'all have to find this time to do all of this. This is not like y'all have like this huge amount of budget. Y'all have like this 2 to 3, you know, like years or like a year or something like that, like how usually movies are produced, you know, because when they go into pre-production, they have all this going on. You know, y'all have lives. And I really do commend you and Dan and also your team and your actors also of just like literally finding that time to like make all of this work and it's gelling together. And I'm very proud of like Kissing Castles and this like movie that's going to be coming out. Now, I'm going to be talking about like the effects. So I noticed that you did some CGI with Evil Lurks. So are you doing bit of both with CGI and practical effects, or just mostly practical effects and some CGI like within this movie?
So one of the things that I'm doing, I created about 6 short films
Mm-hmm.
within the movie. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see the short films being in the movie and cutting to Vic creating the sound effects for that short film, and then they'll cut back to the actual whole full thing. So I call this movie a mockumentary anthology psychological horror film. So there's a lot of stuff happening with that, and and I pretty much, and anybody who saw Indiegogo, and one of the pitches, one of the things I did in my pitch video was talk
Mm-hmm.
about the different levels of horror. It's like there's
Mm-hmm.
not just one element of horror. You have
Exactly.
psychological, you have slasher, you have sci-fi, you have
Mm-hmm.
folk horror. So when I go into the visual effects aspect of it, majority of this movie is practical, and that's the one thing I wanted to keep it on camera. But I also made a movie about angel assassin and a crow assassin. So these two ladies with wings and they're fighting each other. So I'm thinking, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, blah blah blah. I'm gonna need CGI for that. So my guy Steve Eaton from CCC Entertainment, he's
Mm-hmm.
doing the majority of the visual effects for me for that scene. I also got another scene that's like a mix between Aliens and Predator. So I need some CGI for that because I got the monster got all this electricity submerging on his body as he's trying to kill this cyborg. Um,
What?
so I need special effects for that. So those two scenes there's a lot of that's some CGI happening within that stuff. So that's when I need to do it. But when it comes to like the blood and guts and the
Mm-hmm.
craziness and stuff, we use pumps and just blood like rigged up some stuff. Somebody's bleeding. There's like
Mm-hmm.
a tube in them. Yeah. So I didn't use any CGI blood. We got a bunch of different things we rigged up for this scene. I mean, it was one rig, which I hope it's still working. It still looks good, but it took us like 3 hours to just do a rig that's supposed to be 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
Less than 2 seconds long. And it took like
Wow.
4 hours to rig it up. So it's like, yeah, I like, one of the greatest or the greatest practical effects movie of all time is The Thing. So I'm just like, yeah. So I'm just like, I had to do it up, and yeah, we did some. I think we did some cool stuff. I think it worked for the situation and stuff like that. But I definitely use a lot more practical, and then with those scenes, with those short films in the movie, I use CGI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you said the electricity and stuff, I'm just
Oh yeah.
like Raiden, Mortal Kombat, and then you did this right here. I'm thinking of like, Bruce Leroy off of The Last
Oh
Dragon.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be like she's punching all these sparks gonna be flying off her head and all
So
this
you
and all
got
this.
that
Yeah.
glow.
So it's some interesting effects that's gonna happen, and I can't wait to show it to people because our goal is to do we're gonna do some special screenings,
Hmm.
so we're gonna play them in movie theaters and stuff like that. And I'm hoping
Ooh.
we can get out in tech. I know our guy Miguel's in Texas. I don't know what part of Texas you're in, but we're gonna try to do a screening out there as well. And then Dan's gonna do one in his neck of the woods, and then I'm gonna do one in my neck of the woods.
Well, I'm just letting you know, I'm in East Texas, Tyler, Longview area, not too
Okay.
far from Dallas. It's like in between Dallas and Shreveport, Louisiana. So we
Yeah.
have a local theater, and it usually plays the Rocky Horror Picture Show
Okay.
downtown. So, you know, gonna get hipped up.
Yeah, we trying to get some ideas in place, to try to see if we can get that all lined up. But that's one of the goals. I mean, this is an 18-month process
Yeah.
from now till because the goal is to have the movie done by spring. So right now we're knee deep into post production. Um and yeah, I got to watch the I kept watching the edit
Yeah.
movie, and I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna start getting all the sound design rolling, and I got a whole bunch of stuff I still got to do with the VFX
Hmm.
and sound design, and then also the music. So I'm just gonna do all of that. I can't wait for something to get done to get to something else. So I got to do all of those at once. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday might be this thing, and then Thursday, Friday. I don't do that much on the weekend because I usually do that with spend time with my kids.
Hmm.
But during the week, I try to find like, okay, on these 2 days, I'm gonna work on this. These 2 days, I'm gonna work on this and stuff like that. But the goal is, unless something catastrophic happens, this movie's gonna be out in some way, shape, or form by spring of probably mid spring of 2025.
Well, I'll actually look for this film, and um, another thing that I'm gonna talk about is that, before we got in conversation, is that, about Terrifier 3, especially what Damien Leone has like produced from like a shoestring budget, and now it's like the number one movie in America. And you're talking about putting screenings like in local theaters. And there's a guy that is in Tyler, and he did three movies. They were more of like a kind of like a comedy
Mhm.
drama, a little bit. We call it, you call them the hood black movies.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, but he actually had his movie in one of the local theaters, Studio Movie and Grill, where he
okay,
had a whole like shebang bang of like all of the actors, which the actors that I know that was in it, I've worked with them or went to school with them. It was really neat to like see local people like in our area doing this comedy drama, crime movie that he produced. And it was really big. It was in newspapers. He really did like made his like the concept of it, and then just made his dream come true. So, with that being said, of you being an independent filmmaker, and of course Damien Leone coming out with Terrifier and making all this bukus of money right now. What does that like say to you as an independent film maker, especially to those who want to put something out that is independent but don't have that budget or don't have those connects like that? You know, what do you say to that to you know, people out there that is doing that? How do you feel about it?
I think the one thing people need to keep in mind with Damien, dude spent 20 years trying to build up that clown. He started he put out, he started working on that art character since like 2005 or six or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I read whether you like these movies or not, I love his story because he came from shit to get to where he's at now.
Right.
And when he put out the first one, he was gonna do a crowdfund, but no one was budging. And then he met Phil Falcone, who's his director. Now I call Dan is my Phil Falcone. Because he met Phil Falcone. Phil Falcone's like what he did, and he asked him like how much money. He's I'm doing a crowdfund. I need like 30 grand, and then Phil's like, I give you 30. Don't worry about the crowdfund. I'll give you 30 grand. Make the movie. So they made that movie with a shoestring budget, boom, boom, and then when they did Terrifier 2, they did the crowdfund, and I think from an interview I heard from him, he raised like $200,000 the first day when he did the crowd, because that's a crowdfunded movie. Like Terrifier 2 is a crowdfunded movie.
Yeah.
And to be $250,000 to get to $15 million at the box office that's not normal. That hasn't happened in 40 something years. And I don't even think that even happened because I think Halloween was like not even $1 million. I think it was $50,000. And that was a lot of money. I mean, think about I think it was 1978 or whatever. I forgot what year Halloween came out.
78.
Yeah, and then for that to become what it became, that's not a normal thing. And then even with this movie, the movie cost $2 million, but even with a bigger Hollywood horror budget, like that still ain't a lot of money. $2 million, because a lot of these other movies, that movie Thanksgiving, that movie definitely cost like $10 million or more to make. Like so even in that way, and it's still an unrated movie. Like Terrifier 3 is still unrated. Like for that to do what it did, and then to surpass what it made the second time around over the weekend. Yeah, this is an anomaly. This is my thing about it is I'm happy for his origin and where he came from to get where he's at. But our reality is don't think you need to you're gonna make a clown and then all of a sudden you're gonna make a lot of money. I mean, he created a great IP and it worked for him. What I get from it is there is a possibility. There is possibilities of things you can do as as an independent filmmaker. And he put himself in the best position he can, because he gotten bigger offers than what he got from when he got Terrified 3. I've heard things, but he wanted to still keep. But usually, if you go even bigger with certain things, they're gonna price. Okay, we got to hold back on certain things then. So he knew what he needed to do. It's like I don't need y'all, because people are so there's people who love art, and there's people who got curiosity. There's a lot of people with curiosity that went to see that movie, because there's a lot of people. There's different levels of horror fans. Some people like horror in this kind of way or this kind of way. Some people don't like the overly gruesome stuff. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was cool. It was a brutal movie. I didn't freak out. Like it's a brutal movie because you know what you're getting from that. But he's still the underdog. He's still the guy who did what he did to get where he's at. I think that motivates me as a filmmaker in a way of like, hey, anything's possible. I'm confident I learned a lot from Evil Lurks. and I'm confident about what I'm trying to do with Vic Effects. Because the thing about Vic Effects, I'm not just making a movie. I'm creating that, and I've said this before. I'm not creating a movie. I'm creating an atmosphere.
Right.
All those short films that you see in Vic Effects, those are all going to come to fruition in another movie I'm working on. And then the next batch of stuff I'm building up IPs within the stuff I'm doing with Vic Effects. Vic Effects is phase one. So everything, I got a 3 to 4 year plan. Me and Dan have a 3 to 4 year plan of what we're trying to do with the concept of Vic. It's not just like, all right, we're going to see a movie. All those little movies in that movie is building up to something even more than what this is. This is the hope kick you in the throat. Here's the intro to the Vic Effects universe.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see the Milo Kemp character again. You're going to see the origins of different things happening. With all these things is happening with that. So as a film, my advice to filmmakers in a way of, and I'm not trying to give advice, but my thing with that is build an atmosphere. Don't just try to make a movie and don't try to make a new clown. Build your own thing. And that's what Damien did. He built he from the ground up, he built this thing and it became what it became. I don't think he knew it was gonna be this big. But he put in the work.
Yeah, he did.
Put in the work. I just got to put in the work. I can look at the business aspect of doing this stuff, but at the end of the day, I have to do the work. I have to, I have to do the work and show people this is what's happening. Now, if they're like, cool, they dig it, awesome. I did my job, but I just got to do the work, and that's what I've been presenting to, doing these interviews and stuff. That's why I've been presenting to, everyone about. Vic Effects is not just a movie. It's an atmosphere. It's a universe. We're building more into it. When you watch this movie, when you see all the different things that's happening, I want people to look at one of those short films and, man, I would love to see that into something bigger. I'm like, okay, we will. We're gonna make something else with that. So, yeah. So it's a game plan. This has been a 3-year. I've been working on this when I was editing Evil Lurks.
Yeah.
When I was working on, so that's like a 3-year plan as I was working on this project. And then, Dan saw my vision and he said, yo, you different. You're doing something different. You're not just trying to make a slasher or just trying to make something because everybody's kind of falling in line. And I'm not afraid to say that because I am, because me making something different doesn't mean people are going to gravitate to it. Because people like things that they're used to. But I don't care. I'm going to make this and I'm hoping people get it. But I am making a movie about movies. I am making a horror movie. I'm a horror fan. I'm not a guy who casually people go to therapy. I watch movies. To get all this shit that I do to keep myself from losing my mind, I have to watch a movie. I know I got shit I gotta do downstairs. I'm in the studio, but I gotta go upstairs for 90 minutes and watch something.
Yeah.
Like, bowl of popcorn. I need to watch something so I can clear my head because I got too much going on right now. And I'm not a horror movie lover. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
So seeing what and watching his interview, he's the same way. He's like, I have to do this. It's not like I enjoy doing this, like I have to do this stuff.
Right.
And I champion it. I applaud what he's doing. I don't hate. I don't like, oh, these movies ain't that good. Why people like? I'm like, no, man. I'm all for it. His story is great, and he's a good guy. Like he's not cocky about what's going on. He's like, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. But he put in the work. He didn't overthink like, oh, this is what. Like, no, he put in the work, and people gravitated to it.
Yeah.
So what I get inspired by him is his work ethic and what he created, and I'm trying to do that with the things that I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make a clown. I'm trying to make my own. I ain't trying to make my own art. I'm trying to make my own. I'm trying to make my art.
You making your art in your universe. That's basically what you're doing. The getting the ambiance, the atmosphere, the universe, like together, like with your film. So Dan, you just been sitting there just chilling and everything. So what you think? Like how everything, what Chris was saying and how independent, filmmakers, how do they feel about it and how they gonna go on of making their own films? What do you think? Dan.
Yeah. So I was just patiently waiting my turn. So I wanted to give a shout out to Steve Eaton, who not only is doing the visual effects with Chris Shern, he
Mm-hmm.
also designed the Vic Effects Universe poster, which is exactly what Chris was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That he spent $10,000 of his own money, not just on this film, but the entire Vic Effects universe. This is like a 3 to 4 year plan where we have well, Chris wrote this, but he has ideas that aren't entirely fleshed out yet. You'll see, like he said, 6 movies within the first Vic Effects film, but this is building upon the Vic Effects universe. Like if you look at Steve Eaton's Vic Effects universe poster, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see all the characters that are not only in the first Vic Effects film, but they may appear in subsequent films in the next 3 to 4 years. So that's something that we're trying to get out there about Chris's Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, that if we don't raise enough money, we won't have the money to create these other films in the Vic Effects universe. So that's why every dollar counts.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have perks that are as low as $1 or $5. That's important to us. Like every single penny does count. And with Chris Shern at the helm, he will make sure that he stretches every penny or every dollar that he has. All you have to do is watch Evil Lurks to see what he was able to accomplish with just $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, I was blown away. I'm like, wow, this must have cost like 5 to 10 grand. And now with Vic Effects, like he invested 10,000 to film it, but now we need extra funds because post-production costs,
Mm-hmm.
the visual effects. Chris is doing this. He could be taking a lot more time, like doing other things, but he's doing part of the visual effects because he needs to save money. He already spent $10,000, and he has his good friend Steve Eaton helping him out too, which also helps too because they're good friends. So, if we went to go to someone else, say whatever, someone else in the independent film realm, like we would need a whole lot more money. But what Chris has done is he's found people in the industry, he's become good friends with them, they believe in his vision, and they're helping us out at a much lower cost than we would if it was someone that we weren't familiar with. So he does things right. He works with a close-knit group that he worked with Evil Lurks. And now, come Vic Effects, now we need a lot more in the post-production phase than he needed with Evil Lurks because there's so much more going on here. And he's hired world-class musicians too. Like this soundtrack is gonna that's why it's gonna be mixed in 5.1 surround sound. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we have to get it out in movie theaters because you're not meant to see this on an iPhone or an Android phone. This is meant to be in theaters.
That is that's amazing, and that is a lot. I mean, especially the music part, and music does have a really huge importance, especially within film, to like set the mood and the tone, you know, everything about it, because you have like a lot of films, that have like really great, soundtrack. I know that when I watch It Follows, Disaster Piece did the soundtrack for that movie, even though people were not really big on It Follows, but it was Disaster Piece, the music that they did, that was like really great. Even I'm gonna bring it up again, Terrifier 2, the soundtrack. Even the soundtrack to one of my favorites is you know, dang, I'm about to talk about it this Thursday on Austin Public Access with Dan Marino. Demon Knight.
Oh,
The soundtrack was just
yeah.
badass. I mean, that opening of them, oh shit. You know, I was like, dang, I'm
Oh,
in for
Demon
a fucking ride with this film. And that's one of my favorite films to watch is Demon Knight. I mean, Billy Zane is still pretty as hell.
Yeah.
I've seen him in his, I'm like, oh my God, he's still pretty. But he was like the collector, but that was
Yeah.
one of my favorite films. But it was the soundtrack of that movie that just like pushed it, even though it bombed at the box office, but it became a cult classic
Oh
hit.
yeah.
It
I
really
remember
did.
seeing that movie in the theaters. Yeah.
It really did. It really did.
I was a huge Tales
So
from the Crypt fan. Yeah.
so y'all are doing some big and badass bomb things with Vic Effects, and I can't wait. I want to watch this and there's and I feel this what y'all doing, it deserves to be in theaters, especially of like what y'all going like above and beyond with this film. You know, just creating this universe, creating like a movie within a movie,
Yeah.
and you have all these characters, you have the storyline, and you know, as well as like Evil Lurks, how much I love it. This one right here, I think it's gonna blow it out of the water. I'm just saying, you know, if I,
Oh
I
yeah.
got a good feeling about this, you know, because I was impressed with Evil Lurks. I have a really good feeling about this one right here. So I'm going to like ask y'all, what is your favorite horror movie that you love to watch around spooky season?
Dan, you go first.
I'm a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I recently went to a it's called NEPA. It's Northeastern Pennsylvania Horror Fest. It had 10 ladies of a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So they had 10 ladies that were a part of a Nightmare on Elm Street, the first 6 movies. And
Mhm.
I was extremely nervous because here I am dressed up exactly like I am now. I go to these conventions and these festivals promoting Vic Effects, and like I'm like starstruck because like even though they might not have been like the leading lady or the final girl in
Mhm.
some of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, I've watched them so many times, these films over and over again. Like I like know them, like, and you'll follow them on social media. So like I'm starstruck, and here I am, I'm trying to talk to them about Vic Effects, and like I get all nervous and everything. But it's interesting because I come from a background where I didn't really talk all that much. I only had like a few friends growing up, like
Mhm.
in high school and college and whatnot. But like for me, like my passion is filmmaking. Like I learned during the pandemic. It was April 2020. I decided, I've been working the same dead end jobs all the time
Mhm.
and felt like I've always been underemployed. And I just said to myself, like, I could die tomorrow of COVID-19. Like, I should reach for the stars and go for my dreams. I know I'm not like a great actor or a great director, but I think I could be a great producer because I have done marketing and promoting in the past
Mhm.
with Flyleaf and Skillet. I was part of their street team, which is just someone that volunteers,
Mhm.
goes out to concerts and businesses and hands out flyers and promotional CDs, posters. So that's what I'm doing with Vic Effects now. I'm more of a film person than a music person. And Chris is like a perfect combination of the two. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he
a
is.
master musician, master filmmaker, composer, director, editor. Like,
Look at
he
you.
truly does it all. Like, and I know Chris is always like, well, I don't like to promote myself, so that's why I hired you, Dan, because you're my producer, you're my right-hand man. You could say all the great things about me, and I'll just nod my head, you know. So there you go. There's my promoting for Chris for the night. But
Not promoting. You promoting it real well. It's like he's a musician because
and
I know
he's also
you have a band and Eric, Chris, and you got all this going, and like, yeah, he's the man.
he's also a merch master too. He created all this and stuff, the
Yeah,
hats,
he
the
did.
shirts, everything.
Yeah.
And you can buy all that stuff on the Indiegogo campaign. If you financially contribute to it, you can buy certain things. So I mean, he's got these really incredible posters. The original theatrical version where it's Vic Paulette,
Mhm.
and then you also have the Steve Eaton one where it shows all the characters in the Vic Effects universe. I like to call it the MCU poster because I swear it just reminds me of a Marvel movie, and like I would like hang up the flyers. Chris gave me the images of the Steve Eaton artwork for Vic Effects universe
Mhm.
poster, and I printed them out on my crappy printer at home, and then
Not
what
the
my job
crap.
is, like, I go up to businesses, and a shout out to Steel City Tattoo in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's where we're going to have one of the Vic Effects screenings in
Mhm.
Bethlehem, uh, the hometown of Daniel Roebuck, who's also in Terrifier 3. So shout out to him. Uh, so I'll hand out these flyers, and like I'll go to businesses and like talk about the movie and everything. And Steel City, they're like, yeah, we love horror movies. Give us a whole bunch of the flyers. And like I gave them like 30 of them. And like 2 weeks later, like they're almost gone. So like people are like
Wow.
receptive to the artwork. And I knew when Chris showed me like the artwork, the poster, I'm like, yeah, just put me up at 27 by 40. I'm gonna hang that up in my basement.
It should be there tomorrow. It should
Yeah.
be there tomorrow.
It's like, and then when I like I talk to people about when I give out the flyers and everything, I'm expecting them to say like, oh yeah, is that the new Marvel movie that's coming out? Because that's what the poster looks like to me. It looks like a bunch of Marvel superheroes on it.
Oh no, I mean,
And
this is called marketing. So I took that concept of the Avengers, put that into my artsy ass horror movie. So people are like, oh man, I can't wait to check this out. And they like, what the fuck? All these crazy movies happening. It's a got
I'm
'em.
screaming. I am screaming. I love it. I love it. I love y'all relationship. I love the business relationship. I love that y'all like have each other's back. Y'all are like 10 toes down for each other. Um, uh, just this is just really wonderful. So I'm gonna go ahead and like wrap it up. But before we dip off and everything, let everybody know where they can find y'all and your indigo and everything else. And I need for y'all to promote Vic Effects and get that little old change to help you out and everything, because this is going to be a wonderful film coming out in the spring of 2025. Take it on. Go ahead.
So man, you can find me on Instagram, Kissing Castle Productions, Shern Chris, Instagram. But honestly, I got two Instagrams, but Kissing Castle Productions, I'm kind of leaning towards that a lot, especially with promoting the horror stuff. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on there. Indiegogo. Look up Indiegogo. Look up Vic Effects. No one's got that name but us. But look at it. We've raised over $6,000 so far, and hopefully we can get a little bit more. And like Dan said, every penny. No one's getting this money to splurge and go to Great America.
Right.
we putting it towards these movies, man. So we're thinking big, but we're smart about how we spending our money.
Right.
We're fortunate that we have people who are highly skilled and giving us a good deal on things. So it's good to have good friends. I mean, I'm fortunate. The last 20 plus years of the musicians I've been around and filmmakers I've been around the last decade. Everybody's helping everybody. There's still a community within this here and there. And, I got a handful of people that I can really rely on. Oh, also my Halloween movie is Fright Night and Creep Show. Yeah.
Fright Night. Yes. Thank you. Because that's another good movie right there, baby. I wanted Chris Sarandon to come up in my bedroom. I stay off in the country when I was in high school. I said, now let this man take my neck and my virginity. And I was just like, oh Lord. And the dance, club scene. Isn't that the best scene out of that movie?
That movie is, nothing I know they did another movie called Fright Night, which wasn't whatever. That movie, nothing takes the makeup, the whole thing about that movie was, So that's I mean, I watch horror movies on a daily basis. So, spooky season and all that stuff, but Fright Night is my go-to. Night of the Demons. You said Demon Night, Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons. That's a good one too. That is such a good one.
You know why I like Night of the Demons? Because a black man don't die in it.
You damn right, Roger was the final dude.
The greatest line in horror movie history. You ain't getting me. That's what he said.
That movie that just takes me back when I rented it. I was like 8th grade. I was like 14. And my grandparents, they were strict, Christian household, but horror movies was allowed in this house.
Okay.
Because they didn't trip out on stuff like that. They really didn't. They knew it was entertainment.
Yeah.
When my grandma was watching Night of the Demons and she seen Roger was winning, he was living, she was excited. She got so excited. And that was she watched it from the beginning, middle to end.
Yeah.
And she was so happy to see that a black person survived a horror film.
Yeah.
And we were all cheering because we just don't see that.
No, we don't.
I mean, even in Demon Night, Jada Pinkett Smith was the final girl.
Yeah.
She was a final girl, and I'm sitting there looking at my hair. I'm like, shoot, I got the Jada Pinkett, blonde too, and everything. How she had it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be the final girl in somebody movie, though. I don't know who movie, but I'm gonna be a final girl in somebody movie.
There we go. Hey, we'll find you a remote role and figure something out. Like we come out to Texas.
But yes, thank you both, and just joining me. And also, Dan, I'm gonna give you a little shout out because when I watched Kai Kydro's last video and I seen a picture of you, I was like, Kai, I didn't know Dan's little picture was up in your video. I thought that was really great, and you did work with Kai Kydro, and he was on the show also, and he is a wonderful musician. I love that he brings back that old Hollywood golden era style with his music. Gives me that really gritty, glam gothic, rock of the 2000s and the 90s, which we just don't hear that a lot. But I'm just glad he bringing that that style back, and I really dig his music. But when I seen you in the video, I was like tripping balls. I was like, oh my God, there's Dan.
Yeah, I was really interested in that music video by Kai
Mhm.
Caldro because the film noir cinematography.
Mhm.
I grew up watching film noir. That's where my love for Blade Runner came from. That's considered neo noir because it's in color, but
Mhm.
I always preferred black and white photography. It's just wonderful, like
It
being
is.
able to not see things in color because some of us are truly colorblind, and just being able to see what so many people that are colorblind they see, that's how they see things. So I love that photography. And I got a shout out to Onmar, the photographer from the Lehigh Valley. He did my recent headshots, and my favorite one is a black and white photo that he did where it was like half of my face. And I told him, well, I don't like the one side because it has a red mark. So he said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. So like he did that, just half the face. And I was like, yeah, that's my favorite one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But again, guys, thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate y'all just dropping in, just coming in, like just chopping it up with me on the Random Horror Show. And I'm just really excited about Vic Effects. I like wish y'all like so much love and success and everything. And I'm gonna tell y'all for my audience, do y'all still have copies of Evil Lurks, the
Yeah,
physical copies?
yeah.
Okay. Y'all go get like this Evil Lurks physical copy, okay? Because I got mine too. So I suggest y'all to pay some money to. We gotta support everybody in the horror community, and this is a person that I want y'all to support, really, because it's amazing. But I know y'all still have your physical copies that's still on sale, and also I'm going to be linking your Indigo link in the description box and everything. And please do support them. There it goes. I love that cover. That is a beautiful cover right there. Do check it out. And love it right there. This is they doing the
That's the
motherfucking
soundtrack.
thing. There
Yeah.
it is right there.
Yep.
That's how it
Also,
is.
the music's not on Spotify. The music's not on Bandcamp. The music, you can get the disc. You can't play it in the CD player because so many songs. So you can just put it in your computer. You can take all the songs off and put it on your phone and then listen to it. So that's the only way you're gonna get the soundtrack. So you have the movie and you have the soundtrack. It's not on Spotify. I didn't stream it. So you're the only person that has a copy of it, and then you can put it on your phone. You can take the songs off the disc, put it on your laptop, put it on your phone, and if you want to share it, I do not care. I want people to hear it.
And it comes with a cute Vic Effects sticker
Oh,
then
and it
too.
comes with So you should have that too. Yeah, Keith, you got that too. Yeah, so that's the Vic Effect sticker. Cross
Yes.
promotion.
I think I don't know if I got it. I don't know if I got
No,
this.
you did get this. You could have got.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just too
I
excited to open up the package.
well, I sent it to you, and I know I put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, check the envelope.
Actually, I didn't have my seeing eye glasses on, so I don't know. I'm just sitting there opening shit up, and I'm like, I got it. I got it. I'm like excited like that. But I was all like that. So and now, yeah, thank you, Dan. That package was really pretty and stuff. I was like, I gotta save the package. And I did. I'm like, save the package.
Yeah.
But thank y'all so much. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dan. Much love for me from Texas. And geez, I can't wait. I can't wait. And guys out there, please do go support them. I'm going to be linking their site on the description. Donate 1, 2, 5, 10, shit, a 2020 twin on the 5th of Normandy. Okay, if you got a little extra little money and stuff like that, even before like income tax, and I know some of y'all done your late income tax on the 15th because today is the last day. Throw some little income tax money on there. Not on no rims, not on no vapes or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Okay? Support your indie filmmakers because
Yeah.
this one right here is a hot, hot, hot one, and I know it's going to be the shit. It's going to be the bomb. It's going to be amazing. But again, thank y'all so much. And y'all, I'm Keisha Lacey, and this is the Random Horror Show. Yes, I know we went over